Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another week. So today this whole weekend, I've been working on a puzzle. And when I work on my puzzles, I like to separate them into Ziploc bags. And I realized that one of my bags can be a counting collection. So I took one of those bags and I decided that I wanted to use it as a collection. And I have a video here of me counting the collection. And I want you to just take a second to look at the video and notice, how am I counting them? What kinds of groups am I making with my puzzle pieces? And then at the end, I'm kind of going to ask you to estimate, without really counting, just estimate what you think, how many puzzle pieces you think I have in my collection. All right. Oh, wrong one. So how many puzzle pieces do you guys estimate that I have in my collection? So remember, before we start counting our collection, we like to get an estimate, just to guess, to see how many we have and to see how close we are to our guess. Does anyone have an idea? Ms. Rosales?
Okay, so I'm gonna take a guess that it's less than 45.
Okay. And why do you say that?
Um, I noticed that in the group that's on the top, the one you first started with, that you had a count of 4.
Mhm.
And then I looked at the sets that were there. The 4 is close to the 5, and I did multiples of 5, and I counted to see about how much. And when I was counting by 5s, if I envisioned it correctly, you had an extra group at the top. So it's not really 50, it would be less, so closer to 45, maybe 40 to 45.
Okay. So you have a strategy for estimating how many you think I have in my collection. Miss T, do you have an idea of how many you think there are in my collection? A guess?
I was actually going to say like 50 something because I wasn't paying attention to how many puzzles you were putting in a group, but then I noticed that you had 9 groups to start with. So I was counting the groups when you were actually passing them out. So I lost track of how many you put in one group. But I was like, okay, well, what number do I guess that Miss Akimowicz would count by? That's easy for her. So I thought, okay, maybe she counted by 5s. And so because I said she counted by 5s, then I thought 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. And then maybe you had some extras. So like 50 something was my guess.
All right, so we're gonna watch it one more time, and I really want you to pay attention to how I'm grouping them. So what number am I grouping each collection by, okay? All right. All right. Are there any guesses how I grouped my puzzle pieces? Miss T?
You group them by fours.
Yes, I did group them by fours. And I know before last week we grouped by fives and we also grouped by threes. And so I wanted to try something different in grouping by fours because I know I'm not too good at counting by fours. And I think that maybe it's something that we can practice and we can find strategies on how we can quickly count our collection. So here in the next on the next page here, we see all of my groups. And I want us to represent our groups in using how we would do it in our recording sheet. So what would be the first thing I do?
Oh,
Anyone know what would be the first thing I do if I'm trying to represent my collection on a recording sheet?
sorry, Miss.
Miss T?
I would draw the number of puzzles in each group.
Beautiful. So I'm gonna draw my groups and I'm gonna try to do it as much as I can, but it might not be perfect because the space we have is limited. But I see that in the first row, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. So I'm gonna do 3, and then we'll try to squeeze in a fourth one there. Okay, and in the second row, I have 4 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then my last row, we have 3 rows here. I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then in each group, how many do I have? How many puzzle pieces do I have in each group? Ms. Rosales, can you say it in a complete sentence? You have,
You have 4 puzzle pieces in each group.
thank you. So yes, I'm going to write the number because we don't want to draw them because it'll just take more time and I want to be as efficient as possible. So I know I have 4 in this group, 4, 4, 4, and they're all even. They all have the same number of puzzle pieces. 4, 4, 4.
Sorry, Mr. Kimowich, I'm just gonna kick myself because I didn't realize you had those extra 2 groups on the far left.
Oh, wait. Oh, these 2.
Yes.
That's okay. We made an estimate, and estimates don't have to be correct. They're just guesses, and you were very close. And then I notice I have these 2 right here. What should I do with those? Because they're not 4. Do I just ignore them? No. What should I do, Miss T?
You can draw a group of 2 into your model, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll put a 2 here.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I don't, there are 2, but I don't want to exclude them because they're part of the collection. We want to know how many we have all together, every single puzzle piece. So now I have my groups and they're represented just like how I have them in my collection, how I group them, but I still don't know how many I have altogether. I know I just have a bunch of groups of 4, but how do I figure out how many I have in all? What should I do next? Ms. Rosales.
You can start off by making a math sentence.
Okay, a math sentence. So what should I do? How should I write my math sentence?
So the most basic thing you can do is just add them all up.
Okay.
But then the next part will be key. How are you going to group them afterwards?
How many groups do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 groups of 4. So we need to make sure that I have 11 fours in my number sentence. So far I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
And then plus 2.
plus the 2 more because I still have, those are still part of my collection. Okay, but this still seems like a really long and complicated number sentence, and I don't know what I should do now. So Miss T, do you have any suggestions? What can we do now? Because this still seems really complicated for me, and I don't know how to find this total.
So what I did is actually drew a model exactly the way that you put it on your picture. So I drew it all fours, and then I did the same thing where I skip counted and wrote the total of the number I counted until I got to the very end. Because when I skip count, if I get stuck, I always add 4 afterwards. So I did 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Oh.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. And then when I got to the last group of 4, I remember I had a 2 on top. So I just added 44 plus 2 equals 46.
Oh, okay, so 28 and then 32.
Then 36.
So you skip counted each one, 36, then
40, and then 44.
I'm starting to see a pattern.
44, and then I had this 2, and then 44 plus 2 more is 46. And so I know that from here to here, all I did was I added, or Miss T added 4. So when we go to each group, we just add another 4. Oh, I see. Okay, so that breaks it down a little bit more and helps me understand this long number sentence. So now I know that my number sentence is the whole total that I have in my collection is 46. So in my collection, I have 46 puzzle pieces. Wow, thank you guys so much for helping me. And thank you everyone at home. And I wanted to just show us what we can do because we can use our counting collections to really practice these big groups and different kinds of counting and skip counting, right? So I used 4s today because I want to make sure that I practice my 4s because I feel like when I get to 3rd grade and 2nd grade, that would be really helpful for me to know those number facts, know them quickly so that I'm fluent with my number facts. And what we're going to do today is I'm going to post our recording sheet for counting collections on our SeeSaw so that you guys have access to record your own counting collections at home because we really want to see what you guys are counting at home and how the different ways that you can count your collections. So please share them with us and you can record what you did. We want to hear all of your amazing math work. So keep up the great work and we'll see you in a bit.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Bye everyone.
Bye.